Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd. It is 6:21 right now. We got market opening up in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up liquidity over here real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, a few things here to mark up. All right, looks good. Going down to the 4 hour, down to the 2 hour, down to the 1 hour, down to the 30 minute, down to the 15, down to the 10 minute, and back down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks like we're good. We got a huge spike right here on this current candle. Let me see. Yeah, it's a pretty big spike right there. Let me just measure that real quick. That's not that big. It's a 30-point spike. It looks a lot bigger because the volatility is really low. But yeah, this is an outlier candle. It's not a huge spike, but it does look pretty big, as you guys can see from this green candle right there. Looks like price came up, swept around that area. We're currently in the supply zone right here, so this is a tricky area to be trading in anyways. And price currently just rejected off the supply and the overnight high. So we'll see what happens in a few. The overall bias for today is bullish, guys. So looking over here at the daily trading plan, today's daily bias is bullish neutral. Right now, price is currently bullish also on the trend. So the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, pretty much all time frames here are very strong for bullish. So with that said, I mean, we're going to try to look for some buys here, but it's going to be a little tricky because of where price is currently at right now. Right, it's currently within the supply zone. So if anything, I'm going to look for price to break out of the supply zone and then continue up higher from there. But we'll see what happens here in a few. 6:24 right now, so we got market opening up in about 6 minutes. Hey Karen, morning. Morning Maria, morning everybody. All right, so we got market opening up shortly, guys. Again, not really looking for anything specific here, but definitely going to be looking for some buys, of course. This price continues to push up. I just don't really want to trade within the supply zone right here because the supply zone, there's going to be a lot of possible manipulation on this area. Kind of similar to what just happened to this current candle right there. Hey, Lila, morning. All right, guys, we got market opening up in about 5 minutes. Uh, see what these pre-market moves are all about. Let's see. I guess we got market opening up shortly in about 4 minutes. All right, we got price coming back down right here. As you guys can see, price is pretty much pushing into the supply and it's rejecting right down below. So this is going to be a little tricky for our entry here, like I mentioned earlier, guys. Like obviously I want to take some buys here, but I don't really want to take trades in the supply zone right here. As you can see, price is pretty much pushing into it and it's rejecting directly off it. So I'm going to be really cautious about my entry for today. This is going to be really tricky for the orb entry because the thing is, the orb would look really good for a buy because the overall trend here is bullish. Looking over here at our daily outlook for the day, daily bias is bullish neutral. Looking over here at the overall trend, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, you can see price here is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. We do have a very strong bullish bias and a bullish trend. But the only problem here is that we're currently within the supply zone. So being in the supply zone right here, price is going to have trouble getting past it, right? So as much as I'd like to take a buy here, I'm probably going to have to sit out on the orb if it is buy. Probably have to sit out of the orb if it's a sell because looking at the downside right here, we do have the sessions. Um, so, I mean, we'll play by ear. If it starts to look really good and it looks like price is really going to push through this area, then maybe I'll look for that orb. But I think I'll probably be holding off on the orb today and waiting for price to actually break above this area here, above the supply, and then look for possible opportunity up here. But we'll see. I know we can't really say for sure yet until the market actually opens. We'll have to see how price action moves around, um, and then make a educated decision as we get to that point. So. We got market opening up shortly, guys, and we are ready to we are ready to kick off this trading session. So we got liquidity over here, which was grabbed. This was grabbed pre-market, and we'll see what happens here next. Possibly another liquidity grab right here on this lower area where the sessions is at. Possibly one more grab right there. All right, so we'll see what happens here, guys. 6:29. Market is opening up in about 20 seconds. We'll see what happens here shortly. All right, market opening up in 10 seconds. We got market open up in about 4, 3, 2, 1, and market is now open. So we got a big spike right there. So like I said earlier, price pretty much grabbed liquidity right there. This is where I had it marked up. We'll kind of see where the orb starts to set up. We're getting a bit of a spike of volatility right here. Again, if you guys are looking to take the orb, it's going to be a tricky entry if it's for a buy because it's going to pull into the supply zone over here. So this liquidity sweep just got filled and hit TP right there. So it did exactly what I just talked about. So if you guys are just joining in pre-market over here, I mentioned there's a liquidity sweep right there. And then I said probably another sweep right here below the Asia high. We got the orb high starting to set up right here. So we got this level as the orb high. And we got this level as the orb low. Not established yet, but currently that's where the orbs are sitting and setting up at. All right, so that's the current orb right now. Once this candle closes, we'll be looking for the the breaking close to confirm it. So we have about 40 seconds left on this candle right here. Again, like I said earlier, guys, this is going to be a tricky entry if you guys are looking to take the orb because it's going to be in the supply zone right here. So it's going to be a bit tricky. We'll see where this upper end is. So the upper end is going to be right here at 44,982. Got pushed out a little further. Ideally, I'd be looking for buys today, guys. Don't really want to look for sells. Mainly going to be looking for some buys here. So this candle is about to close, and the upper orb level is going to be right here. It's going to be right here at 44,989. So if you guys are looking to take the orb, you're looking for price to break past 44,898, 989, and continue up higher from there. So that's going to be the orb level. It's still in the supply zone, so this is a tricky area to be looking at. This is basically a high-low break and retest right here as well. Yeah, so you guys can see here, heavy manipulation in the supply zone. This is why I'm not really looking to take entries around this area. We already talked about this pre-market. It's doing exactly what we talked about. I mentioned, price is going to have trouble getting past the supply zone right there. So orb for a buy is going to be right here above 44,989. Orb for a sell right here is going to be at 44,910. Ideally, I would aim for buys here, not sells. 44,989. 44,989 is going to be the orb high. 44,910 is going to be the orb low. If you guys are looking to take this here, that's going to be where the orb's going to be at, of course. I'm going to clean this up a little bit now that we've gone through market open. All right, so market's doing exactly what we anticipated, guys. A lot of manipulation right here in the supply zone. Again, if you guys are looking to take that orb, the orb is going to be right here at 44,989. Lower orb is going to be right here at 44,910. What you're looking for is for price to break and close below it, or price to break and close above it. Ideally, we want to look for buys here because the overall daily buys for today is bullish neutral. Looking over here at the overall trend as well, everything is pretty much neutral. The 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. So short-term trend is bullish. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Same with the higher time frames down here. 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up, right? So with that said, I would mainly look for buys today if you guys are looking for entries. I mean, you don't have to look for buys, but typically that's where you want to look. The only problem here is that we're inside the supply zone. This is why you're getting some manipulation around this area, right? Price gets pushed up and then it gets knocked right back down, right? I'm looking for entries to break past this area so I can look for buys up here, right? So it's a little tricky because we do have, I mean, until price breaks out of this area, we're going to have some manipulation around here. So again, right here, you can see prices coming right back down to open. So you're getting a huge range right here, back and forth, back and forth. In a situation like this, of course, you guys want to probably stick to sideways entries like liquidity sweeps or V1 variations. You don't have to, but typically that's going to be your best option because price is going to continue to go back and forth. So what you want to look for is possibly liquidity sweeps at the extremes, right? So by the extreme, I mean like this level down here, either these two levels or the other extreme is going to be up here. Other sweeps that you can look for are sweeps around the session high lows. So right here, for example, the price again just swept right here, the Asia high. If you're going to go for those, I'd probably go for a small move like 20 points or so, right? Wouldn't go for anything too crazy because you're trading within a range. So you don't really know when price is going to break out of this area and you don't want to be stuck in it when price ends up breaking out. Hey, Seth, morning. All right, so again, right here, price is rejecting off the sessions. Again, if you're looking to take a liquidity sweep, probably either this level or this level down here. This level is kind of close, so maybe this lower one down below. But you have two opportunities for liquidity sweeps right here if you're looking to take that. Another thing that you can look for here is a possible high-low break and retest. The only problem here is that my bias isn't bearish, so I'm not really looking to take sells here yet until I have a confirmation of a bearish shift in trend, right? The 15-minute over here is obviously bullish. 5-minute over here is bullish still, and the 1 minute here is shifting to bearish. So we're getting a bit of a mix here, right? But I'm not looking to switch to a sell yet until these have confirmed. Right now, the only shift to a sell would be the 1 minute. Everything else is still bullish. So again, right here, price is just going back and forth. No confirmations yet. You can see that price is trying to get to this lower orb right here. Again, if you're trying to take the sell orb, it's going to be at 44,910. If you're looking for the buy orb, it's going to be over here at 44,989. So it's got to be patient over here and wait. Let's see, PC said in distribution cycle right now, so momentum is coming from highs and lows. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's ranging. And that's why I'm not really looking to take anything here right now. I'm waiting for a confirmation of direction. Ideally buys, but not really set yet. Let's see how big this orb is. This orb is about 80 points. Not super huge, but it's pretty big. All right, we got price pulling back into the supply zone right here. Again, if we're looking for entry, we need price to break above it, right? Hasn't done that yet. Price is still sitting around this middle area. Let's see, PC said at the top of the 4-hour range, news will only push us higher. Yeah, I agree. So we got news coming up later today, guys, at 7 o'clock. We have existing home sales and existing home sales month over month. Forecasted to be negative, actually. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, we'll see what happens when it happens. Here is the breaking news for today. So breaking news for today. So Dow pops more than 200 points after Trump announces Japan trade deal. So here, Trump announces massive trade deal with Japan, setting tariffs at 15%. Trump said that Japan will invest 550 billion into the United States, adding that the US will receive 90% of the profits. Yeah, so Nikkei over here, you can see it's spiked up super heavily overnight. That's about it. I mean, it's just tariff news for today. Nothing else really crazy going on. Yeah, so if you look over here at my daily outlook, I already had it included in my report, but the Japan trade deal 15% tariffs has lifted market sentiment. Dow futures are up 0.5% pre-market. Our weakness in semis introduces caution. Expect a bullish session, but watch for intraday rotation and tech-related pullbacks. So we will continue to watch here. We will continue to watch and see what happens here next. Again, we don't got much going on here, guys. Price again is trying to get past the supply zone right here. It's having trouble. Not really much of a push right there. So back to what I was saying yesterday, guys, I'm not really looking to force any trades here. If I see something good, I'll take it. If I don't see anything good, I'm not going to force it. I'm probably not going to take the orb here for a sell. Like I said earlier, everything here is very bullish. So I think the orb here is going to be a little tricky to take. If you guys do want to take it, the lower orb right here is going to be at 44,910. So it's not there yet, but if it breaks and closes below, you can put your limit order right here at 44,910, wait for that to fill, and watch it come back down lower, hopefully. I say hopefully because, there just isn't very much of a confirmation of bearish trend here. So that's why I'm not really looking to take sells here at the moment. The 5 minute is starting to shift a little bit, but it's not really confirmed. The 15 minute is very high above. So if anything, this is just going to be a short-term drop. So price is broken below here. We can see a possible sweep right here off the liquidity. This is the sweep that I mentioned earlier, guys. Again, if you want to take it, probably base your entry off the ATR. You don't want to go too heavy. But we'll come back and take a look at that in a few. First thing here to look at would be the orb here. So if you guys are looking to take the orb, if this candle closes below 44,910, this is going to be the setup for the orb. Has not closed below it yet. This is kind of the same mess that was happening yesterday, right? If you guys remembered, whenever price got near the orb low or the orb high, price would get manipulated, right? Like, so for example, right here, this candle closed right here, and then it spiked right to the price, not below it, but right to the price. We have another opportunity right here. So again, same thing, looking for price to break and close below here. Retest the orb low. Nothing confirmed yet, but that's what we're looking at. So here's the thing, if price breaks past this low right here, this is going to be an orb sell, and it's also going to be a high low break and retest. So if price breaks past this area, this is going to be a possible high low break and retest right here as well. All right, guys, so the orb low is going to be right here at the 44,910 if anybody's looking to take that. Looks like it is already filled. This is in line with the high low break and retest right there. Again, like I said, I'm not really looking to take any sells here because the bias here is very bullish. If you guys want to take it, I will follow it for you guys here. It's currently running in profit right now. There's two entries running alongside each other. There's a high-low break and retest off this lower low right here. Or actually, no, sorry, I take that back, guys. There is no high-low break and retest right here. The high-low break and retest happened right here, actually. So it is still running in line with the high-low break and retest, but the entry for the high-low break and retest is actually a little higher because there was a new higher low right here, right? So the high-low break and retest is currently running in profit right now. The orb entry is currently at entry point. So if you guys are looking to take that, this is going to be your entry for the sell. Again, I'm not really looking to take sells here because the overall trend bias here is very bullish, and then my daily bias for today is also bullish. There isn't really a setup here for sells. If anything, it just looks like, there's going to be possible pullbacks, but there's nothing here indicating for me to look for any possible sells here. Everything I'm looking for is going to be for buys. Here's the summary right here. So the summary for today is the bullish bias dominates thanks to the trade optimism, but profit taking on semis and earnings events could trigger pullbacks. Trade the zones, buy the pullbacks and breakouts, manage risk with tight stops, and adjust exposure after earnings to let the price lead. So with that said, I'm waiting for price to come back up. I'm not really looking to hop into these sells yet because everything here is bullish. So. And this is why I skipped the trade, right? So good thing I didn't take the orb right there because I would have gotten stopped out. So no entry for me there, guys. Again, like I said, I'm waiting for price to push above. I don't know if anybody else here took the orb, but I don't think, doesn't look like anybody here took it. So I'll clean this up a little bit. See, price may come back down, but this is the same thing that happened yesterday. If you guys remember yesterday with the orb, price was for a buy. It did the same thing. Price pretty much filled it. It stopped out and then it came right back down super heavily. Not in the position here. Like I said, I'm trying to follow my daily bias, my daily trend. Daily trend over here is still very bullish. Until this 15-minute over here comes down below the pivots, I'll look for sells. But right now, if it stays above the pivots, I'm just going to continue looking for buys here. Not really looking for price to shift yet because it's so far above. Glenn's asking, is the buy orb still valid? No. So if the orb for below filled or if it's active, then that's the orb for the day. So the buy orb is no longer active. It's technically for a sell here. But again, I wouldn't take the sells because everything's pointing towards buys today. The only time I'll take a sell here is if the 15-minute shifts below. So let me make this bigger. So you can see over here, the 15-minute is very bullish, right? Price has been trending to the upside. The trend meter down below is green. The pivots are angling up. So with that said, in order for me to take buy or sells here, I need price to shift below and come lower from here, right? So that is what I'm looking for. All right, till then, I'm going to be looking for buys here. So I'm just looking for price to shift back up, which is fine. I'm okay with where price is at right now. What I want to see here actually is if price does come back lower, I want it to drop down even farther. So I want it to keep dropping down even further. The high-low break and retest here is still running though. So you can see over here, this high-low break and retest is running from this higher low. Again, if you guys are in this specific position, once it reaches 30 points, I do highly recommend moving your stop loss and profit to about 10 points to guarantee 10 points, but still shoot for the 40. We got liquidity here, so there is area here for price to push down lower. Only problem here is that the volatility is kind of flat, so it's starting to slow down a little bit. So ideally, I'd like price to come down, sweep the levels, come right back up, and then maybe look for a buy entry somewhere down the middle. But I'm not in this position here. Haven't taken anything all week, guys. We've kind of been in this limbo pretty much all week. So I've been playing it safe. So here are my stats for the month and for the week so far. Obviously, no trades for me this week. So nothing on Monday, nothing on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll get something today, but if not, I'm not going to force anything. This month's been pretty good so far. We've only had a one red day for this whole month. My profits for the month so far are currently 143,725. So we had a win on Tuesday, loss on, well, these aren't necessarily wins, but these are just day totals. So winning day Tuesday, losing day Wednesday, winning day Thursday, and then we've been on a win streak since. So I'm in a good cushiony position right now, so I don't really need to force anything. Again, if I see something good, I'll take it and I'll let you guys know. But right now, I just don't see anything good. Daily outlook for today is bullish neutral. Weekly outlook is cautiously bullish, and the monthly outlook is bullish with caution. So overall, I mean, everything's still pointing towards buys, right? Long term. Short term right now, price is coming down, but again, like I said, this is short term, so I wouldn't expect price to really come down too heavily. If anything, if price does come down, the demand zone is way down here. So if I'm looking for that push, then it'll be down there. Anyways, the high-low break and retest right here just reached 30 points, guys. So I do highly recommend moving your stop loss in profit to 10 points. And 40 points right there just got hit for full TP. So if you guys caught that, nice work. If you guys didn't, again, it's completely fine. You can wait for the next setup here. So we got price down right here past liquidity. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Let's see. Sam said his buy is going to be at 44,780. 44,780, which is going to be around my demand zone. Yeah, right down the middle right here. That looks like a good buy area right there, Sam. 44,780. I'll mark this up right here. So I'll just put that right there as your buy sweep. It's right in between my demand zone. So this does look like a good sweep area. If anything, if you guys want to take an early sweep would be up here. Middle sweep would be right down the middle where Sam's trying to get in from. And the later sweep, like the extreme sweep is going to be down here at the sessions at the New York high. So we'll see prices coming down right now. It looks like if you held on to that orb entry, so if you did the 50 to 100 orb entry right here, it's still technically running. You know, you only got stopped out if your stop loss was too tight. But if you did, yeah, if your stop loss is 20, it looks like it would have triggered it and would have came right back down. But if you're doing the 50-50 or the 50 to 100, it looks like the 50-50 would have hit right there. and the 100 is on its way down lower. We'll come back and take a look at this in a few. I didn't take the orb. Again, like I said, I'm not really looking to take sells here yet until the 15-minute has confirmed. The 15-minute might confirm though. So if we zoom into the 15-minute now, see how price is below the pivots? If this here closes below the pivots, I might be okay with looking for some sells at some point. It's got to close below it though. It's got to close below it and it's got to stay below it too. So the 5-minute, 1-minute, and 15-minute are now shifting to a bearish trend. The 1-minute is now bearish. Price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. Same with the 5-minute over here. Price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. Here on the 15-minute, price is kind of like sitting around the middle right here. It's attempting to break and close below it. Has not closed below it yet, but it is almost there. So it's just going to be a matter of time until that becomes the case. PC over here said bullish micro, neutral macro is his bias for today. I agree with that as well. And yeah, Sam said, yep, let the structure reverse after touching your demand, not going in directly. Gotcha. Okay, so Sam's actually going to wait for structure to reverse after touching. Yeah, because if anything, price might come down to your sweep zone right there, Sam, and it might come back up, break and retest, and swing back up from there. Either way, the lower the better. I would like price to come down lower because I can't take entries up here anyways, right? We have red flags. So ideally, I'd like price to come down to the demand, reject off this area, come back up, and I'll be looking to take buys around here down the middle. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, so this low over here got broken. Clean this up a little bit. All right, we got price coming down. Like I said earlier, guys, this push to the bottom is probably going to be temporary. If anything, I'm looking for a shift back up. But I want price to drop down lower because I can't take entries around here. We got too many red flags. All right, now we just wait. Just wait for the shift here to confirm. Let's go back to the trend. So the 15 minutes still has 6 minutes on the candle, right? The 15 minute has a long time left on here. So what you can see here is probably a big push to the upside and it's going to go back to bullish. So what you might see here is if price starts to climb back up, this here is going to be a big wick. It's going to be a wick to the upside on the 15, and then price is going to end up right back here above the pivots. So you just got to be patient. It's got to follow it, wait for that follow through. It's weird. This is probably like the most patient I've been with trading in a long time. Typically, I'm getting FOMO or I'm getting like antsy to get into some positions, but like for some reason this week, I just don't feel the need to force anything at all. Um, I'm really sticking to the trend here, which is surprising for me specifically because I like for a while I stopped looking at the trend. I just looked at the daily bias and I didn't even look at the trend. But it's been helping a lot because my win rate's been going up a ton. Profits been going up a ton. I mean, it's crazy. We came from a really hard, like a really tough place, guys, from April up until June. So let's take a look at my overall stats for the year again so far. So if you guys have been following me for the year, we did pretty good from January up until April, right? January till April, we were in a smooth push to the upside. And then April happened with the tariff news, and then market went kind of crazy for a bit, right? It was kind of choppy. So I was in a limbo. I was in back and forth. I was kind of worried right here around like mid-April because I started to lose a bit more. And then we went back and forth between April until July or June actually. And then from June 18th right here up until today, we've been in an upwards trajectory. It's been pretty nice. Push up, one maybe losing day right there, and a push right back up higher. So yeah, I think in April, I kind of screwed up during April because I was getting a lot of FOMO. This is what I was talking about during April and June. I was getting a lot of FOMO and I wanted to get into positions like pretty much every day. So I started taking losses that could have been easily avoided. Now I'm pretty much just kind of, going with the flow, which is good. I feel like a lot of people, that's the hardest part of trading. The hardest part of trading is really just following your trading plan and going with the flow. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably getting ideas, right? You're like, oh, I should take the buy here and ride this back up, or I should take the sell here and ride this back down to demand, which is fine. You know, it's good to take those if you have some sort of criteria or strategy to follow. But for the most part, what I see here is just a big mess, right? I think right here, this is all temporary. You can see there's a big range, price consolidated right here for a little bit, dumped back into consolidation, and now price is kind of just going, back and forth right here. Yeah, Daniel said, you're dead now. Your patience level goes up 100 levels. Yeah, that might be it too. That might also be it, where I just don't have I don't really have that itch anymore because I'm so patient with other things. Nick said it got the orb for 50, was going to go for 100, but wanted to avoid the news. Yeah, we got news right here at 7 o'clock, guys. It's new home sales. So Nick got out at 50 points right there for the orb. He wanted to go for the 100, but 50 will do for right now, especially because we have news coming up shortly in about 3 minutes. So we got news coming up over here in about 3 minutes. It's high-impact news. We'll see how it affects the market. That news event is going to be the catalyst, so we'll see. All right, so you can see over here, price is pretty much ranging and consolidating within this high low right here. It's probably going to range and consolidate until 7 o'clock once news hits. Once news hits, it'll probably break out. All right, we got the pending buy signal right here. So taking a look back at the entries for today, there was a couple entries that came up. I think there was an MPSV2 right here as well, but there wasn't really too many entries here. There's no other, yeah, there wasn't really much any other setups. High low break and retest and MPSV2 down below. All right, guys, we got news in 2 minutes. Let's see. Sam said I'd be happy with a 44,807 sweep and reverse too. 44,807 sweep. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the news is forecasted to be negative. So, what might happen here is you might get a spike to the downside and then a spike right back up. So we might get price to come back down lower, sweep off this 807 or even off the demand, and then come right back up. I mean, we'll see. All right, we got news coming up in less than a minute. We're obviously got the orb for 50 as well. It's been pretty consistent. Yeah, orb's been pretty solid overall. It's just these past 2 days have been kind of choppy. So the tight stop losses are getting kind of screwed when it happens. There's a possible high-low break and retest pattern setting up right here. Price is breaking past this lower high. However, we do have news in about 20 seconds, so I wouldn't get into anything here. All right, we got news coming up in about 10 seconds. We'll see how it affects the market here. It's forecasted to be negative, but I think it's going to be positive. All right, here goes the news candle. Pretty anticlimactic, nothing really going on there. Let's mark this up. News. Yeah, not really much of an effect there. Let's take a look. News was still loading. News was negative. Okay. So it was actually very negative. It was forecasted to be negative 0.7. It was negative 2.7. And then it's forecasted to be 4.1 mil. It's actually 3.93 mil. So the housing market is not super hot right now. It's kind of cooling down, it looks like. And here we go, as price comes down. It's reacting to the news. All right, so I was expecting it to be higher, but I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. Usually the housing market is pretty hot during the summer, but or not hot, but it's like it's picked up. Seems like June was not very high. June, July. All right, not much of a reaction right here, guys. There's a high-low break and retest currently running right here. It was at news, so obviously, something I wouldn't mess with, but there was a high-low break and retest. This candle right here broke and closed past the lower high. The news candle right here came back to retest it, and now it is currently running in profit. Not in the position, but if you guys wanted to take that, just marked it up for you guys right there to follow. It's been a bit of a tricky week so far, mainly today and yesterday. Monday wasn't super bad, but today and yesterday was a little tricky. This is a possible MPSV2. Yes. So Jonathan just asked if this is a possible MPSV2. This is an MPSV2 running alongside this high-low break-in retest. Only problem here is that market is still reacting to the news. So you might get a, kickback. You might get some back and forth around this area. So we're still getting market reacting to the news, guys. The news is right here at 7 o'clock. Again, the news is negative. So you're going to get a negative reaction in the market, hopefully. Or not hopefully, but ideally, that's kind of like what's going to happen here. So not in this position, not that I recommend this position either. Let's take a look at the overall trend. So the 15-minute here still hasn't confirmed, right? I was mentioning this to you guys earlier. I'm not going to look for any sells until the 15-minute has closed below the pivots. It is not closed below the pivots yet, so we might still be shifting out to a bullish trend. So the 1 minute's bearish, 5 minutes bearish, slightly bearish, not very bearish. 15-minute here is still bullish. So until the 15-minute comes below it, not really looking to take any sells here, guys. There's just no need. I need to have these aligned here for me to take these entries. All right, looks like we're back at this waiting game. It's all good. It is all good. Let's Google that. All right, I'm gonna look at some other stuff right now while we wait for this stuff. Trying to get into Google over here, Alphabet for maybe 9. Google 189. By 6,000 at 189. All right, cool. I'm gonna buy into this at 189. Possibly 88. Come back and take a look at this later. So I'm buying about 6,000 shares over here of Google Alphabet at 189. If you guys are looking to take any stock plays, This is what I'm taking. I'm going to be getting into this. We have earnings on Friday. It's going to kind of average into this position here. And then hopefully by earnings, this will spike back up and I'll get my money on it. I'm going to try to buy in maybe about 20,000 shares of Google. See if I get that. $5 push. Not too bad. 530 for a small little push. We'll see how the earnings play out on Friday. All right, so full TP right here, guys, on this high-low break and retest, if you guys caught that right there. So it looks like we're starting to shift back into a bullish trend, which is perfectly fine. Right here, you can see the 1 minute is now shifting above the pivots. The 5 minute is following along. So 1 minute is leading, 5 minute is following, 15 minute is pretty much where it's been. So the 15 minute hasn't shifted at all yet. And we are now looking for this here to push back up higher. So with that being the case, I'll be looking for price to continue pushing up from here. The next thing I'll be looking for is, I mean, this is going to be a tough area right here to be looking for entry because we do have the sessions right here, and then we do have the supply zone up here. So ideally, for me to take a buy here, I would need price to actually push up a lot higher, like up here. That's why earlier I was hoping price would come down a bit, bounce off the demand, come back up here, and then I take my entry down the middle, right? We have a inverted head and shoulders right here, if that was the case. But it wasn't the case here. Also, this entry right here is not one I would have taken, although it looks like it could have been pretty good. The main thing with this is that we had news at 7 o'clock. So this is a big risk here, of course. Sam said he's watching 44,912 and 44,931 for a sell. He also got into the MPSV2 for a buy, and then the sell at 44,912 for 15 points each. Nice work. All right, solid. So Sam over here caught the MPSV2, and then he caught a sweep, or he's trying to catch a sweep from up here as well. So we'll see what happens here, guys. But again, there's just nothing to take here at the moment. I'll mark up entries as they come up, but we just haven't really had much of a directional market these past 2 days. Monday was okay, but I just didn't get into anything on that day. Today, it's, obviously you can see here, it's more of a choppy market because we've had a chop up here, market opened up, price came down a bit, some more chop down here, and now it's pulling back into this upper range. All right, now we wait. All right, we got price pushing up again. Like I said, guys, with that said, looks like we might be shifting back up to our bullish trend, which is what I was looking for and what I was waiting for. So over here on the 1 minute, you can see here price is now shifting above it. Hasn't confirmed yet, but it is pushing above it. Same with the 5 minute here, price is now pushing above the pivots. Everything else is still bullish. It's like nothing here has changed on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute. Price has stayed bullish on these higher time frames. It's just lower time frames here, which are now shifting from temporarily bearish to now bullish. And here he goes, price climbs up higher. Getting past the sessions right there, Asia high. There's no entries for me here at the moment. See, PC's asking his MPS entry at 44,889. It was, yeah, exactly. That's where the MPS entry was right there above. It was right at news price though, so it's tricky entry. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it, but it looks like a couple of you guys here did take it. Sam took it, Jonathan took it, but it was on the close of this green candle right here. So we had a buy signal, retracement on this red, confirmation on this green, and that was the entry for for MPSV2. All right. All right, we got nothing here, guys. Another big range right here at the moment. So price again is just ranging down the middle right here. This is normal, guys. Don't be discouraged about the market right now. This isn't how the market's always going to be. It's just like this for this week or for the past 2 days, actually. It wasn't like this on Monday. It was like this yesterday, and it was like this today. You can see from my stats for this week, we had pretty good direction this week because I only take trades in markets directional. And we had pretty good direction all last week and the week before. So having a slower week like this is normal. This is usually how the market is. Here, let me show you. So I've been trading for a long time, and if you guys have been trading with me, you guys have seen this. These are the month market cycle. So like 1 week, very directional, very volatile. 1 week, very ranging. 1 week, slow. So this is usually like how the market moves per month. If you guys have been trading for a while, if you guys have been trading with me for a while, usually like the first week is going to be pretty volatile because it's NFP. It's either going to be very directional or it's going to be very slow. So like NFP is usually going to be either like super crazy or it's going to be super dead. And then another week's going to be very ranging. Another week's going to be some slow consolidation. And then 1 week's going to be like an average mix. It seems like this week right here is more of an average mix, right? So if you look over here for the week, I think this probably week 2 was like the very volatile week because we took a lot of good trades this week. NFP over here was more of a ranging consolidation. And then over here, and then this is technically, well, July is a long month, so it's 5 weeks. So what you might get here is you might get 2 weeks of very directional. Usually it's like 1 week each, but we've been we've been seeing these market cycles kind of just run through every month. And if you guys take notes on your trading for every week, I mean, you probably don't realize it until you actually look at your trades for the week. Because you're usually going to have a slow week, an average week, a really good week, and then sometimes a bad week, depending on like, what type of week it is or what type of month it is. Like NFP is usually hit or miss for me. It's either going to be a really good week or it's going to be a really bad week. And then the week after that is usually it's inflation week, so it tends to range after that. And then the week after that is like Fed week, so it's usually slow until Wednesday. And then this week over here, I mean, this is technically week 4, but July's a long month because it's 31 days. So we have 5 weeks for July. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But you can kind of see it from my stats over here as well. Like you can see over here, this is probably the ranging week. June week 2. NFP week wasn't super great. It was more of an average. This was like more of a consolidation week and then a ranging week. So that's how the market is. We've been trading. So I've been trading live for I think almost 8 years now. So we've been through this. It's like same market cycle every year and every month for the most part. Yeah, exactly. PC said accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. These are cycles of stock market ranging, trending, ranging, trending. Yeah, literally, that's what it is. Like I never associated it to that, but from trading for so long, it's just what I've seen. So yeah, the specific, I know people will call it accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. It's exactly what I just mentioned there with this, right? Like the accumulation would be like the very directional, very volatile. Very ranging would probably be like markup, markdown. Consolidation is going to be like the markup, markdown, and then average mix would be like the distribution. That's pretty much how the market moves. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you could call it whatever you like it. Like everyone has different names for it. I know that like that's the typical what people call it. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So some people just call it in 3 cycles. I like that you've marked it up in 4 cycles, PC, because that makes more sense to me, right? Per week. Per week, that is basically how I see it as well. And what PC means by that is, sometimes you get like this accumulation, then you get the manipulation or price goes back and forth, and then you get the distribution, or same thing here, like accumulation, mark down, back and forth, and then back up. It's just the logic behind the market, basically. That's why for me this week, I'm not really taking anything. There's entries that are coming up, but I'm not really looking to take anything here specific unless it fits with my criteria. But as you guys can see here, we're pretty much in this range at the moment. Let's see. Sam said took the MPSV to A++, 3 pips before his level. I know, right? So it looks like Sam over here caught the A++'s price climbed up right there, but it just slightly missed his fill. Let's see. PC said accumulation is the hardest market for me. Yeah, and I think accumulation is probably the easiest market for me, right? Because I trade directional, I trade momentum. So like for me specifically, it kind of just goes in line with what I'm looking for. For you, it might be different because your trading style or trading strategy is a little different than mine, of course. Um, Looking for sweeps, probably looking for a ranging market. Like if you guys like taking liquidity sweeps, then like ranging markets might be best for you guys a lot of times. For me, I like trading directional, so accumulation is like probably like my best friend, right? I think if I see accumulation happening, it's going to be easier because we have that break and retest, break and retest, break and retest to the upside or break and retest to the downside. Right now, we just don't really have that. I mean, you can kind of see from here. It looks like price was accumulating on the higher time frames, but on the lower time frames here, price is kind of going back and forth. The 1 minute over here has not confirmed the bullish trend yet. It is starting to shift, so let's just make this a little bigger. You can see over here on the 1 minute, price is attempting to break and close above this area here. Oops. Yeah, price is attempting to break and close above the pivots, and the trend meter was shifting down below to blue. There you go. See it shifting to blue. So it's trying to shift up, but it's just not there yet. Looking over here on the 5 minute, price is still bearish right here, right? But it's shifting back up as well. So you can see over here, price was below the pivots temporarily. It's trying to shift back up here. And the trend meter down below is shifting from red to blue, meaning that it's going from bearish to now neutral. And then if it pushes up any higher, back to bullish. Man, I'm still kind of shocked that I'm this patient right now. Initially, I'd be itching to take a trade right now. Like, if this was me like maybe a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, I'd probably be itching to squeeze an MPSV2 or squeeze something in, right? Um, I don't know, something that's like a light switch just like flicked on where I'm like, just be patient. Market here sucks. Because typically, if the market sucks, I'm still trying to squeeze one in, especially if I haven't traded all week. I haven't taken a trade on Monday, haven't taken a trade on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I was expecting to take a trade today, but I mean, you guys can see from the market here, there's not really much to take, right? I mean, if there was something good, I would take it, but there really is nothing going on here. Price is going back and forth. The volatility here has actually slowed down quite a bit. It's 720 right now. This doesn't mean the market's going to stay flat forever. Like this could pick up in the next 10 minutes. So I'm just going to be patiently waiting right here for price to push up. I really just need the 5 minute here to push up. The 15 minute is still bullish, so that's not going to be a problem for me, right? I can still look for buys here. I just need the 5 minute here to really push above and climb higher. Because if the 5 minute pushes above and climbs higher, the 1 minute's going to follow. Right? I think the 5 minute's going to be leading here because the 1 minute's already switching to bullish. So as long as the 5 minute here pushes above and gets above the pivots here, everything's going to be bullish. The only problem here is that once we get to that point, I need to decide if I want to trade at the supply zone, right? So a lot of questions here for what I plan on doing, but I mean, we'll see when we get to that point, right? Once you cross that bridge, we'll make a decision. But right now, I'm just going to wait for price to actually push up and get past this area. There's going to be a possible high-low break and retest right here. This is probably the first thing I'd be looking at for price to break and close above this area, or retest and push up higher. The only problem here is that we have the opening price, which is okay, not a big deal. We have the sessions right here, which is also okay, not a huge deal. But once we get to the supply zone right here, that's where it's going to be a big deal for me because I don't want to be eaten up at the supply zone, right? Where it's going to get a little tricky. If this supply zone wasn't here, I would have been okay to take this possible high-low break and retest. But we are up here. The problem is even if I reach my 30, right, I still got to eat into the zone. If my 30 points was like below here, then okay, perfect. I would hop into that because my stop loss would get moved in profit before. But yeah, I don't know if it'll even reach that point. The volatility is not high enough. If you look over here at the ATR guys, ATR is currently at 17. So in order for it to push up, it's got to have a really big push. Yeah, PC said I don't think it's pushing above the supply in New York session. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think so either. Because we're getting this back and forth movement here, right? Until we get a directional move, it's just going to be pretty flat for the most part, which is okay. You know, just got to be okay with it. Just got to relax and let the trade come to you. All right, we got nothing here yet, guys. We have an MPSV2 that's currently running in profit right now. If anybody's looking to take it, it currently filled right here. Again, I'm not really looking to take any entries here yet until I have a confirmation of trend. But if you guys are looking to take that MPSV2 right there for a buy. Confirmation of trend has not confirmed yet on the 5, but it is almost there. Looking over here on the 5 minute time frame, so we got price currently pushing above it. So if this candle over here closes above, we'll have that confirmation of trend. It's currently 725 right now, so we still have time for entry if it does end up closing above here. I don't know if we'll have much opportunity because we're going to be right at the sessions, but this is an MPSV2 currently running in profit for anybody who's looking to take that right there, or whoever's in it. I wouldn't say take it because it's already too late, but whoever's in it. Looks like it's on its way to TP right there. So this is a setup that I was talking about earlier, guys. This is a high-low break and retest that's currently now running alongside this MPSV2. It's just a little tricky because there's a red flag right here. Obviously, there's a sessions, there's opening price. I would personally take this if it wasn't cutting into the supply zone right here. So I think price will push into the supply zone right now. I think this MPSV2 will hit full TP. And then we have a high-low break and retest running alongside it right here, right next to it. So we have this price which broke and closed past this higher high. It filled right here on this following candle, and it's now pushing up to the bullish direction. So this MPSV2 is probably going to get hit for 40 points. And then after that, we're going to look for price to possibly, push up higher to the supply zone up here. Let's see. Sam said, this 3 pips before my level messed up my psychology. I guess I have to try. I guess I have to try becoming a father. That may help me become chill like Sean. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's got to be the dad life that's got my patience up, but yeah, I've been kind of just waiting, guys. So there's no entry for me here. We have the 5 minute, which is going to close in about 3 minutes. Again, like I said earlier, let me maximize this. I'm waiting for this to close above the pivots here. So, once the 5 minute closes above this area right here, I'll now start looking for some buys. I just got to be a little cautious because we're going to be over here near the supply zone, which I don't really want to be trading in. Best case scenario here is we start to get a bullish breakout. Like for whatever reason, we get a bullish breakout, pushes above, and then I can get an entry somewhere up here. Like the farther upper ends of the supply zone. But I'm not in any of these positions here. I'm just marking them up for you guys to follow. Like I said, this is still a tricky area because there's red flags around here. For the MPSV2, ideally you'd want to move your stop loss and profit to 10 points now because price has already reached 30. So since it reached 30 points over there, you'd like to ideally move your stop loss and profit. This over here for the high-low break and retest, this was more of a trickier entry because obviously we're in the red flag area, but it's still running. Sam got into a sweep at 44,931. Nice. Yeah, so Sam actually swept over here off the liquidity. Which I think would be a good sweep because we have the red flags here. So sweep worked out. And we'll see what happens here next. All right, so nothing's really happening here, guys. Volatility is really low, and we are just, for the most part, waiting. Here he goes, price pushes back up. 7:30. Let me check the 5 minute candle. All right, so we do have a bullish confirmation of trend now. 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 15 minutes bullish, of course. I would be looking for some possible buys here. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. All right, so MPSV2 right there hit for full TP, 40 points. So the MPSV2 is done with right there. Now we got price kind of climbing up. Again, like I said, we have an issue right here because we're right at the supply zone. So this high-low break and retest is going to be very tricky to take and to hold on to. Because what might happen here is price may reach this area, then it might get manipulated and pull back down. So just something to pay attention to there. Again, I'm not in any position here, guys. I'm just watching. All right, so this over here obviously got manipulated out. Like you guys can see, our price is just going back and forth, back and forth. So again, this is another reminder why I don't take trades at red flags. We have the sessions right here. We have the opening price right there. You can see our price pretty much spiked down right here below. And it's probably going to go sideways before it pushes up higher. But it's a matter of time. All right, we got price just going sideways right here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just sitting back. And I gotta figure out how to mute Discord. I logged out of my Discord and logged back in for whatever reason. Discord keeps going off, and of course it's Steven messaging me. Steven, what would you like? Let's see. Steven said, okay, so Steven is in for a buy. Let's see what you got over here, Steven. Steven on here? Let me see. Steven isn't even on the live. Okay, Steven's not here. I'm gonna just send him a screenshot of the overall trend. All right, just gave Steven a quick analysis of gold right there. All right, guys. So looking over here at the 5 minute, you can see price is now below the pivots. So we don't really have that bullish confirmation that I was looking for. Again, I need price to stay above this area and push up higher. Right here, price closed above it slightly, and then it pulled right back below it. So with that said, there's not really much here to follow at the moment. So yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of time. Let me just mute Steven real quick. This guy's sending me a ton of messages right now. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why Steven took a buy there for gold. Like, I mean, it's bearish right now. He's just kind of taking random entries. Yeah, I mean, the higher time frames are, if you guys are trading gold or if you guys are looking at gold, gold is bullish on like the 1 hour and 4 hour, but it's obviously bearish over here on the lower time frames, 15, 5, 1, and 30. So, I mean, if you guys are trading gold, I would probably, unless, this here is confirmed that switch back up, take it. But if not, then I would just sit back. Thing is, Steven like made pretty good profit on it prior and he just got back in even though there was no entry there. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll just mute Steven for about an hour. I'll get back to him later. All right. Yeah, I gotta figure out. Let me go on ChatGPT actually. Let me see if I could ask. Do I mute notifications on Discord? All right, guys, we're not really getting too much here. You guys can see prices now going back and forth within this middle area, just kind of what I expected. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat, ask me whatever questions you guys have. But at this very moment, there's just not really much here to take, at least not now. Price going back and forth. So today wasn't exactly how I was hoping it would move. I was hoping because there was news today, price would actually move directional, but it didn't really move too directional today. So if you just kind of look at this from a bigger picture or from a different lens. So if you go here from 6:30 up until now, you can see here price did come down a little bit, but we're really just in this big range. So I mean, realistically, we're in this like huge range right here, which is, let's see, it's about a 160 point range. Yeah, we're in this big range, and then within this range, we're in the small consolidation. So the big range is like between this whole area up and down right here. And then we have the smaller consolidation range, which is right here down the middle. Let's see if there's anything else here to look at. I mean, there really isn't much until we have some sort of confirmation here. Obviously, the higher time frames here are still very bullish, so I'm still looking for price to confirm that bullish trend. We have price which is bullish on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute. You can see here that price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. The 5 minute here is the lagging time frame. This is like the only one that's not bullish right now. So once this one is confirmed and it's like actually pushing up, then we can start looking for some buys. The only problem here is that even though we start to get that, the issue is the supply zone up here, right? It's gonna be the biggest problem. Yeah, either way, I'm gonna look for opportunity here for entry. All right, not much here. All right, we got price pushing back up right now. Oh, fuck, I just closed my freaking thing. I accidentally closed my 6 windows. Reading chart layout. right, there we go. Okay, so anyways, I was looking back over here on the 5 minute. The 5 minute is going to close in about 2 minutes. We need it to stay above here. So, I mean, right now it's still not a good area. I need it to push up a little bit higher. So you get that 2 minutes right here. I need this to push up, hopefully up to here by the time the candle closes. If this candle closes again below it or in the middle, then we're not really going to get much of a confirmation here. Yeah, still no confirmation there. Mark up these new zones. Let's see, question from Glenn. Glenn's asking, is there a high-low break and retest at 44,938? No, because there's a new high right here. So the high-low break and retest would be right here at 44,929, or sorry, 44,935. It's too many lines here. Yeah, this would have been the one prior, Glenn, if this one here didn't come up, but this one already came up, so it's going to be the most recent high. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a sweep right here. I mean, this thing is just going sideways, as you guys can see here. No direction, no volatility at all. Price just going back and forth right down this area right here. We need to wait for price to break out of here. Ideally, I'd look for the buy, but I mean, as you guys can see, there's just nothing there. All right, we're still getting the sideways right there, guys. All right, looks like price is trying to break out of this range, but not exactly the direction that I'm looking to take here. Looking back over here at the five, guys. So I don't think there's going to be any entries for me today, guys. Here on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, you can see prices back below the pivot. So we're starting to shift back to a bearish trend or just slightly bearish right here on the lower time frames. The 5 minute still, 15 minutes still bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 4 hours bullish. Everything here is pretty much solid on the higher time frames. Just the lower time frames over here, there's not enough volatility and price is kind of just going back and forth. As you can see over here, it's just turning back and forth. Stays up, comes down, stays up, comes down, etc. Looking at the ATR right now, it's currently at 14, so I'm not really expecting anything to happen from now until like 8 o'clock. But if you guys do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, it's just one of those days again where the volatility is just not really there and the direction isn't there. We're just in this sideways market, which is okay. This is part of the market, right? This is part of trading. This is part of like what we have to experience and what you have to go through. The good thing for me is that I didn't feel any FOMO at all today. I've kind of just been sitting back waiting for something to happen, which never really happened. And the good thing here is that I didn't take any losses, right? I feel like a lot of people, if you don't have the discipline to kind of just wait for these entries to come to you, you could eat up a lot of unnecessary losses. So yeah, Sam said bad ATR boys, my stomach is full. I'm done. Yeah, so Sam's done for the day. Um, Shiv said, I think I'll close off for today. Best lesson I've learned this week, sit on your hands unless you have a solid setup. Appreciate it, Sean. Yeah, definitely, Shiv. Yeah, because I think you've been in that limbo, right, Shiv? You're one of the people who like, sometimes you think something's good and then you take it and you're like, shit, I should have just skipped today or skipped that trade. And I think it's better because you don't have any losses. So, you don't have to, and that's the thing that sucks. So here's the thing with trading, guys, not just trading in general, but like well, trading in general, but also with trading a funded account, right? And I think that I see this with Shiv's account all the time. Like he'll have like some high days where it goes up, and then he'll have days where, he just ends up taking bad trades and it comes right back down to break even. And then he has other days where it just kind of goes up a little bit and then, back to break even. And that's like the hardest part with these funded accounts is you just want to keep pushing it and adding profits to the account. But realistically, it's like if you could avoid those bad days, like for example, Shiv, if you took these good days and you didn't end up taking, those losses and you just forgot about this right here, you would still be up here in the profit, right? And that's kind of where I am right now. If you look at my profits for this month, I didn't realize I locked in this much profit, but I just kind of locked in good days. Like I locked in a decent day here, I locked in a loss here, and then I locked in a good day here. And this week we had a win streak, and then I kind of just I took it easy on these days. We had a loss here on the 15th, but I made it back on the second trade. And then I just ended up in this upwards trend right here with my profits. So if we look over here from just this month, just for July, so you can see over here where like my profits kind of just went up like that. Smooth push to the upside. So it's just, it's part of trading, guys. You just have to understand when to sit out, when to play. Yeah, I should have said facts, man. I need to fix up my mindset. I just need to chill out and wait. Just been so money focused on trying to get a payout, which has really screwed me up as it's been up and down. You need to take another page out of your success, sit out, learn and sit out. Yeah, exactly. 100%, guys. You got to remember your main goal of trading, guys, is not necessarily to win a bunch of trades. Your goal of trading is to minimize your risk, right? When you're a trader, you're more of a risk manager. You're not gambling, right? If you're gambling, then you're trying to aim to make money. But realistically, your goal here is to make some profit, like make some profit, let it add up a little bit. And then when the market's not doing anything, be okay with going sideways, right? And then the next day, if it's good, make some more profit and then go sideways. This is kind of how I'm right now for this week. So like last week I was up and then this week I've pretty much been going sideways yesterday, sideways Monday, sideways today. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll have some good trades and I can push this up higher. And then if I go sideways on Friday, that's perfectly fine because I'll be ending up with profit at the end of the week. So it's all good. No rush, no stress, just kind of hanging out, waiting for these trades to come to us. So, all right, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, remember, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out. I'm not really forced to take anything here, so I'm not looking to take anything at the moment until we have a confirmation here of like trend or anything like that. I'm not really looking to take anything. If you guys do want to take something, your best option would be to take some sweeps, right? The only problem here is the sweeps aren't very strong on the lower time frames because you're currently bearish. So if you are looking to take a sweep, I mean, the best sweep area would be down here because there's no confluences up here, right? Like this could be a sweep level, but there's no confluences here, so I wouldn't take a sweep there. I would take a sweep down here, basically at like 44,800, 44,807. And this just goes back to being patient and waiting for your entry to come to you. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I mean, unfortunately, it's just another day. Fortunately, but unfortunately, it's just another day where I don't have anything to take, which again, it's not necessarily a horrible thing, but it is it's a day to just learn from the market. So, all right, let me put this here. All right, I'm just going to be doing some things behind the scenes over here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll hang out for a little bit here and then see if anything comes up. Highly doubt it, but we'll see. I don't even think my alphabet stocks ended up filling. I'll have to take a look at that. Let's take a look. All right, so I'm still trying to buy my alphabet stocks over here for Google at 89. See if that comes down later today. There's earnings for Alphabet on Friday, guys, Friday morning. So if anything, I gotta get into that stock by tomorrow. All right, so here we go. We're back in this range, guys. Nothing's changed here. Price is just going back and forth between this middle area. Um, yeah, there's not really much here to work with. See market open right here. So the only thing that really came up today was really the orb, but the orb wasn't I mean it wasn't exactly a setup that we were looking for. Right, so the orb happened right here. I mean, if we took the 40-20 orb, it would have lost, it would have stopped out. 100 points didn't even push here for the orb. So I know a lot of times you guys are trying to aim for that 100-point move for the orb. The orb here only pushed up to 50 points. The 100 never got anywhere, or it got close to it, but not that close. It got 79 points in profit. 100 points would have been down here. So yeah, not really much there. Not really much in the market today. We didn't even get that 100-point push. So you can see here the volatility is pretty low. Price is just going sideways, and I think that might be it. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, guys. There's just no need to force anything here. Uh, yeah, there's really no need to force any trades here because price is going sideways. So whether you take a buy or a sell, you can easily get stopped out of these trades, no matter what. All right, Sam's done for the day. All right, Sam, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Jonathan's asking if you were to pass a 50K eval, how would you do it? Um, I mean, I wouldn't do anything different than what I'm already doing. If you were to take if you did a 50K eval this month and you took pretty much all the trades for July, you would have passed it regardless because what am I doing? I'm risking like 2,500 divided by 3 divided by 2. So each trade I'm risking about like 400 to 500, where I would have risked about 400 to 500. We had about 1, 2, 3. So how many days would you need for this? 416? Or how many trades would you need for this? 2,500 divided by 416. So basically you need 3 good days and 6 winning trades, which would have been covered for this month, right? July 1, this is a half. So basically if we had 6 days here of wins, it would have covered the profit that you need to pass, which is exactly what happened here. So I mean, I wouldn't do anything different, Jonathan. I would do exactly what we've been doing. You just have to manage your risk. It doesn't make a difference for whatever account you're doing. If you're doing a 50K account, 150K account, 300K account, I would do the same thing we've been doing, but you would just increase your contract size to make sure that you pass within a certain time period. Um, so I mean, technically, you could pass a 50K within 3 to 6 trading days. Like if you had 2 trades per day, you can do it within three. If you had 1 trade per day, you can do it within 6 days, which are profitable, right? You just have to have basically 6 profitable days because we're doing 1 to 2s, so it's easier for you to pass a lot quicker, actually. No, actually, yeah, now that I mentioned it, um, if you took all of these for like 1 to 2, like you would pass them in like 3 days because you're making double the profit per trade. So you're not making 416, you're gonna be making 833 per day. Jonathan's asking in regards to risk, 2 or 3 contracts per trade. Probably three. 3 times 5 times 20. Yeah, I mean you could even go higher if you really wanted to. But I mean, three looks like it could be fine. Yeah, I think three would do the job because you'd make about 300 per trade, and then you have the opportunity if you win that trade, you would make 40, right? So you make 600. So like 600, let's do that again. 2,500 divided by 600. You basically need 4 trading days, 4 wins to pass. So basically 4 days. So your range would be about like 3 to 6 days to pass a 50K count, which is pretty easy. I mean, if you just stuck to the game plan, right, you could be pretty solid. Sam said take liquidity. He took a liquidity sweep with a 2060. Where'd you get in from, Sam? From down here? Yeah, if you guys were to take sweeps, I would take sweeps for buys. I wouldn't necessarily look for sells. I think the sells are going to be very temporary. The buys are probably going to be the better direction. But all right, guys, about to be 8 o'clock. Again, like I said, nothing happened here over the last 5 minutes, right? It did exactly what we anticipated. I'm not predicting that this was going to happen, but this is what happens every day. So we already know. Once it hits 7 o'clock, volatility dies down a bit. Once it hits 7:30, volatility dies down even more. So 7:30 was right here. And you can see right here, the volatility was super, super slow. And it got even slower right here, closer to 8 o'clock. So. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So Sam actually mentioned, if you want to pass right away, you can do liquidity sweeps for 2060. And you can basically pass like very, very quickly. That's actually a good idea, Sam. Or you could even do like the orb for like 2060, right? I think if you did the orb for 2060, you could probably pass very quickly too. Because it usually hits 60 points. Yeah, Sam said he did a 2080. And he did that to get his 300Ks. Yeah, no, I remember that. You're able to pass super quickly. You just got to increase your risk. I mean, it depends on your personality too, Jonathan. If you're okay with taking those bigger RRs, then you can do that. But for me personally, I don't like taking big RRs, so I'd rather take more trades and build up the profit over like 3 to 6 trades versus passing within like 1 to 3 trades. So it just kind of depends. I mean, it just depends on your risk appetite. But all right, guys, I think that is it for the day. Unfortunately, no entries here for me. You guys can see price pretty much went sideways the entire session, which is kind of what we expected as after what happened yesterday. But hopefully tomorrow is going to be a lot better. Today is Wednesday. We have Thursday, Friday still to happen. Tomorrow we have some more news, I believe, at Thursday morning. Yeah, we have jobless data or jobs data tomorrow, and then on Friday we have durable goods. So. All right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up for the day, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live.